Welcome to the second live Talk Sox podcast, post-game reaction for Wildcard Game 2. At the moment, I'm here with Brock. We think Maddie's going to jump in with us here pretty soon. Not as much fun tonight.
No, no, not nearly as much fun. And on top of it, the way the game, shook out in the last two innings, I had to scrap almost every note I had written up to that point
Yep.
because
I
it
was
was,
keeping a running in my notes app on my phone for things to post tomorrow, and they're gone now.
yep, yep. And it's a disappointing end, but I mean, okay, let's just start with what's your biggest disappointment, Alex?
The fact that once again the Red Sox had the bases loaded and failed to convert anything.
Yeah,
It's been problematic for the second half of the season for sure. You almost feel better when the bases aren't loaded when you have people at the plate. Um, it's that, and then it's the Jaron Duran dropped pop up in left field.
yeah, he's having a bad series.
It That's
He,
textbook.
he Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not the easiest catch in the world, but he's not your sheet out there.
No,
He's part of his job is he needs to make those catches, and to have him drop it and lead directly to a run, yeah, and just the fact that he has one single in eight plate appearances,
yeah,
he's he's just not having a good series, and the Red Sox, they've got a lot of young guys on this roster,
hmm
and Duran needs to be one of the vets. He's not that
yeah,
old, but he's been around several years now. He can't be the one causing the problems. He needs to be the one solving them.
absolutely. And I he got the call up in 21, and he didn't make the playoff roster for 21, but he was around. Like, you're foolish to think if you think he wasn't around the team in that situation. He obviously was, and he's a drastically different person than he was in 2021.
Right.
But and we've talked about it kind of at length on the site. I've written about it. A couple other people have written about it. We've talked about it here on the podcast. Like, left field is not where Jaron Duran needs to play. He's not a good left fielder. He's a great center fielder, but unfortunately, he plays, or fortunately for most of fans, he
Yeah.
plays on the Red Sox, who have Cedon Rafaela, who is a perennial Platinum Glove candidate in center field. So you can't move Cedon out of center to put Duran there. That's putting the cart before the horse. And
And Maddie has joined us.
hey, you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh
There we
no.
go.
Okay.
So when you jumped in, we were kind of talking about our biggest disappointments on the night, and I said obviously the bases loaded situation, and then Jaron Duran, and
Um, on which end of
you
the
just you
field?
can't. Yeah, we've covered both so far.
Yeah, we were kind of coming at it from two different angles, where it's like, oh, he sucked here, but he also sucked over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Man,
mean, oh, go ahead, Maddie.
he just has been so disappointing lately. Yeah, I'll say how I really feel. Just he was, yeah, 0-4 yesterday, then 1-3 today. Just, yeah, he just puts up really uncompetitive at bats in pivotal situations. And then he made that really bad defensive play too.
Yeah, I mean, led directly to a run. And that's the kind of play Duran, they're not putting Yoshida out there for a reason, and it's because Duran's a better defender and he needs to make that catch.
Yeah, they tried to explain it away on the broadcast, like maybe the glove got in his way, like watching the ball. No, don't. Like, let's not sugarcoat this. He's a
He's a center
major
fielder.
league outfielder. Like,
Well, on top of that, he's a center fielder, and
yeah,
center fielders are used to balls coming straight in at them and
directly
having
at
to
their
dive
face.
forward. It's
Yeah,
it's a
Mhm.
common center field play. Well, not super common, but it's a play center fielders need to make.
Yeah, and it's one that if you have a center fielder that can't make that play, they're not going to play center field for very long.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I joked yesterday about how Jarren Duran's uncompetitive at bats could cost the Red Sox a shot at the World Series, but you can pretty much squarely place this game on his shoulders. And I hate to be that way,
Yeah.
but that play screwed him.
Yeah, it did. My biggest disappointment was the Red Sox just let Aaron Boone and Carlos Rodon off the hook
Yeah.
over and over again. I mean, the Yankees bullpen sucks. Everyone knows it sucks. We've, talked about that.
Hmm.
And when Boone is out there doing the absolute craziest thing of trying to get 7 innings out of Carlos Rodon in an elimination game,
Hmm.
you have to make him pay for that. And
Yeah.
it was just, Duran was part of it. Uncompetitive at bats, followed by grounded into double plays.
Hmm.
Rafaela had bunt, and these are all things where it's like you keep letting Rodon off the hook, and Rodon wasn't great today. I mean, he was
Rafaela has not
competent.
had a successful bunt all season. Like they've tried
Yeah.
this multiple times all season, and Saddam Rafaela cannot bunt. Like you've
And
got to
I
you've got
mean,
to
that was
stop the
way out of the
experiment.
zone. And, a more experienced player, a player maybe a little bit more, in the moment,
Hmm.
confident in their abilities, sees that splitter coming and just pulls back.
Yeah.
That's it. But he's getting in his own head, trying to do too much, and they did not put him in a place to succeed there.
No.
And he came 4 feet from redeeming himself there at the end, didn't he?
Oh man. Off the bat, it looked so good.
Yeah, it did. And it doesn't
And,
take much to get something out to right field in that park.
no, and I got fooled on Trevor's story when he flew out to dead center at the warning track.
Yeah.
That looked gone off the bat. It it's so frustrating because this game was very winnable. Even with Bayo going what 2 1/3.
Yep.
We talked last night about he would have a short leash, but I didn't think it would be that short. Um, and I thought Cora managed the bullpen well. Whitlock obviously got gassed by the time he was throwing 45 pitches in an inning.
That was
Um,
the one thing that I really questioned about the game. I thought Corey was doing a great job up until
yeah,
Whitlock was obviously laboring. Hootie Waka, Chisholm in a largely
yeah,
uncompetitive plate appearance.
yeah,
And you need to be prepared for that in a tie game in Yankee Stadium.
hmm,
You need to have somebody ready to just take over at that point because Whitlock fell apart and he fell apart fast.
yeah. And I mean, we talked about it last night, but I honestly think like Chapman was warmed and ready. Bring him in, and if you burn him, you burn him. But they were going to burn Bednar in the top of the ninth anyway. So you were kind of on equal footing again. It
Yeah.
just that, like you said, that was the one. That was the one misstep I think Cora made today. Maddie, what would you say your biggest disappointment on the night was?
Romy Gonzalez batting cleanup and going hitless was
Again,
another thing that another thing that really irked me. Just he's not tremendously locked in at the moment.
no.
Oh, yeah. And do you start David Hamilton over him tomorrow? Or, well, no, you keep Sogard in. Oh, you bench Romy and
Yeah,
have low start.
yeah, you've got to tomorrow. Who are the
It
Yankees
hasn't
throwing? I know
worked.
we talked about it last night, but I don't remember.
Oh, Schlittler.
Schlittler.
Yeah, um, he's gettable.
Yeah. I mean, it's neither team is going to shower themselves in glory in tomorrow's starting pitcher. So it's going
No,
to be an interesting play.
you hope that. I mean, we have to assume that it's Connolly early, right?
The broadcast
I would think
mentioned
so.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they magically stretch Steven Matz out to be an opener tomorrow, um, I don't see Harrison starting. I think that out of the options, you would give it to Early. He's the most unknown on the roster, so you hope that maybe he can get 5 fairly dominant innings.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to be prepared
He's
if you're
gonna have to
gonna
have a
throw
backpack for
early
it.
out there. It's
He's gonna
gonna,
have to have a backpack.
yeah, there's gonna need to be a piggyback on. But who do you throw behind him if you start with early?
I Tully went tonight, so you have to think Tully's probably burned for tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think he threw many pitches though, did he? Let's have a
No,
look here.
Harrison would make sense.
Yeah, totally threw just 7 pitches tonight.
Okay, so he's probably not
Yeah.
burned.
No, he should be good to go tomorrow.
I almost think, just backtracking for a second, I would have gone to Tully before I went to Whitlock just to save Whitlock for hopefully a clean 8th.
I agree with that. I said that as I was watching the game.
And I thought Tully looked good tonight. He seemed to have his command back. He was throwing the hardest pitches we've seen from anybody tonight on the Red Sox. So, he could piggyback. Harrison can piggyback. I don't think Kelly threw I don't remember how many Kelly threw. That was a while ago.
6. Kelly was fine.
Yeah, Kelly
I thought
just threw
Kelly
6
looked good.
pitches.
Yeah,
I
so I
mean,
think that
everybody
might be the
looked
piggyback
competent
right
up
there.
until Whitlock
Yeah.
was just asked too much of him.
Whitlock is burned for tomorrow. There's no way we see him.
Yeah. I mean, I looked it up because I was like, I know, Whitlock has made many multiple innings appearances this year, and he threw the most pitches tonight that he had all season by like 4 or 5 pitches. It wasn't close. He
Yeah.
ended up at 47 pitches, which what reliever is going to be effective?
Yeah.
Typically 1 inning reliever is going to be effective at that point, and that was too big a ask.
Mhm. And I mean, kudos to him for staying out there and for, I mean that's guts, but you've also got to be able to admit when you don't have it anymore. And
Yeah.
but like I said, that's the one move that I really questioned Cora on tonight. I thought everything else made sense. Nate Eaton did have to dive out of the way of the Carlos Narvaez bat and was flexing his arm in right field.
Yeah.
So that is something to kind of keep an eye on, I think. You have to imagine tomorrow that Weir's going to start, so I don't think that's as big of an issue. But
Well, Ian made that throw to home, which was pretty close, but I was thinking Abreu would have had that if he was in the game for
it
defensive
took such a
purposes.
weird bounce off that corner.
Yeah, it did. He had to run forward to
Yeah.
get it a lot more than he expected. And if you look at the replay on that, Jazz started running early. Those I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even know if the ball had reached the plate yet, and he was
Yeah.
already going. Like that was
He
just
knew he
a,
was
a
headed home on
fortuitous.
contact. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just a unfortunate play.
And Jazz likely saved the Yankees the inning before on that absolute smother job
Yeah.
that Ben Rice muffed. And they showed on the replay that was it Sogard or Eaton that was running to third on that. I think it was Eaton.
That was Eaton. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Eaton.
Had he not put his head down, because he made a wide turnaround third. Had he not put his head down, he would have scored.
Yep. If he would have been heads up at all, he would have seen that there was
And
no
Flores was
way he was
calling
going to
for
be
it at
throwing it.
first. As soon as
Yep.
that ball skipped in front of Rice, Flores immediately started waving him, but he just wasn't. I mean, he was looking
Yeah.
at Huddy at that point, and Huddy wasn't relaying the message.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a winnable game, and I feel like that the Sox just, they let Boone off the hook with his Rodon decisions, and then there were just like these little moments throughout the game where you're like, oh, you could have saved a run here, could have scored a run here, and I'm just kind of amazed. It did not feel like a particularly clean baseball game, and still only ended up 4-3.
Yeah, this felt like it should have been like a 9-11 game.
Yeah.
with how much the ball was tossed around. I don't know. You want these type of games, this score wise, in Red Sox Yankees in the postseason, but you want a clean game to get to this point. It never felt like the game was out of reach, and then just to come up in the top of the ninth and have 3 completely uncompetitive at bats. I think once Jazz slid into home, I think everybody on the field was like, okay, that's game. We're done. We'll just come back
Yeah, it
tomorrow.
kind of felt that way. And it's a real shame because the Sox have been doing a pretty effective job of containing Judge.
Yeah.
His batting average is good, but
he's just hitting singles.
Yeah, if you're allowing Judge to hit 400 while he's just hitting singles, that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any day of the week. You'll give Aaron Judge singles all day long, and he will hurt you with them, but he's not going to absolutely crush you.
Yeah. And they've done a good job with Stanton.
Yeah. Stanton's largely been irrelevant thus far, yeah.
It's been Volpe and Rice and now Chisholm that have been the issues. You have to imagine that all 3 of them will be in the lineup tomorrow.
I kind of wish it was Judge and Stanton beating up the Red Sox instead of Volpe, Chisholm, and Ben Rice, who's from Massachusetts, if you didn't hear.
Yeah.
Or no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge beats you, and you're like, oh, damn, Judge got us, but Aaron Volpe, come on, man.
Yeah.
You can't lose to Aaron Volpe.
No, there was talk of him not making the playoff roster just a couple of weeks ago. Like, it's so frustrating, and to be in a do or die situation tomorrow. Neither team throwing a pitcher that they probably want to throw.
Yeah,
and you have to hope that it turns into like a football score style. Both teams have to be hoping to score a ton of runs tomorrow.
Yeah, you'd think so. The Yankees bullpen is bad. The Red Sox bullpen pretty depleted after the last 2 nights.
Yeah,
and then they're not throwing out their finest starting pitchers. It could get ugly tomorrow for sure.
Yeah,
which is really too bad. Because it felt like tonight was going to shape up to be like, or the series was going to shape up to be like the Trevor Story Masataka Yoshida redemption tour. It's like the 2 guys who everybody hated coming into the season and struggled and had their various issues at different points. It felt like they were kind of just going to take over this series and advance the Red Sox to the next round.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. You have to think that Massa DHs tomorrow.
100%. He's their team's best hitter.
Yeah. If that lineup comes out and he's not in it, that'll be the first really big qualm I'll have with Cora.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. With a righty on the mound, Massa would have to be back in the lineup tomorrow.
Will, you're back in right field.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only 2 changes that I think will be made. Well, Romy to the bench for Lowe.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like the Red Sox lineup a lot more against a righty.
Yeah,
being able to get a.
And the Yankees don't have a dominant lefty in their bullpen, so.
No, it's just their starters, and the Red Sox have already faced both of them.
Yeah. But we'll see what tomorrow holds.
For sure.
Hopefully a lot more positive.
So let's see. It's probably going to be another 6 p.m. start-ish, somewhere in there, give or take an hour, because turns out everybody's going to 3 games this time around. So the early slot's going to be Detroit, Cleveland again. The afternoon slot's going to be Cubs, Padres again. Red Sox, Yankees. I mean, I don't expect the Reds to beat the Dodgers, so everything might shift back an hour.
Yeah. That should be. I mean, that I don't see that going 3 games. The Reds Dodgers.
No.
The Reds are playing with house money, but the
Well-
Dodgers are a juggernaut for a reason.
The Reds are leading 2-0. Top of the first just ended.
Oh, I've been I have it on a screen in front of me, but I hadn't actually looked down. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Okay, so maybe they're going to go 3-2.
There you go. Oh no.
Oh.
It is the bottom of the first inning, and the
Right.
Dodgers have yet to have an at bat. So I have utmost faith the Dodgers can scrape together 3 runs. They might have to bunt a
Yeah.
few times, but they can probably
Shohei hit
pull it off.
850 feet of home runs yesterday.
That was crazy. My God. I've never seen a ball at Dodger Stadium go that far.
No.
Man. But,
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we're back tomorrow with a much more positive live reaction to the game 3.
Definitely, and I hope we're not lamenting how the Sox just handed away the series tonight.
Yeah.
But based on how things go tomorrow, they're in pretty precarious territory. Again, so are the Yankees.
Yeah. Tomorrow is the most jump ball game probably of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting set of games tomorrow because Cubs and Padres are also throwing out rather subpar options.
Yes.
The Padres are rolling out the desiccated corpse of Yu Darvish, and so who knows what's going to happen there. The Cubs are throwing Jameson Taillon. Like, it's interesting that we're this early in the playoffs and we're already seeing some suboptimal starting pitching.
It just bodes well for the World Series when we get there.
Yeah, right. It's really going to be interesting to see, the likes of Aaron Savali throwing critical innings, deep in the playoffs. You're like, how did we get here?
Oh man. Well, I think it's probably as much as we could say about tonight without getting uber
Yeah.
negative. So
Yep.
we'll be back tomorrow for the 3rd episode of the live Talk Sox podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Definitely. Yep. Thanks, everybody.